Welcome to the National Real Estate Network video training program. This video is part of a series designed to help beginning and experienced real estate investors with the different aspects of purchasing and investing in properties. Be sure to click become a member at 27monthlymeetup.com.
Okay, so I want to thank everybody for being here. This is going to be a seminar on find, fix, and flip. And my name's Mark Maupin. A little bit about me. I started buying properties and really buying them heavy in the 80s, early 80s, maybe before you guys were born. And my wife gave me a choice of ballroom dance, square dance, or a real estate investing class. We took the real estate investing class, and 6 months later, I had bought 26 houses. The guy that came in and spoke to the real estate investors class was like a buyer broker and was doing a really good job of finding homes in the suburbs. And at that point in time, we could buy them on land contract. And everything he bought me, I made really, really good money on. And my wife was a full-time school teacher, and we were renting the properties out. And she would overkill on talking to the tenants. She would actually read the lease to them. It was painful. It would take like an hour and a half for her to get through a lease. But she did such a good job of explaining stuff, and the tenant selection was good. And then I was the guy that likes to spin a lot of plates. So I said that wasn't enough for me. I wanted to start buying in Pontiac. So within about 3 years, I had 325 rental properties, and I was heavy duty, and I majorly went out of control. I rose to the level of my incompetency. So then I had to get out of the rental properties. So I learned how to do rent with own, lease options, and did really well at that, and got out of those. And then I just got into buying like 8 properties a month and selling them. I got into paper. I was doing really good with that. Then I got into wholesale later. So I've been at the game a long time, and when the market crashed, I was over leveraged, and I was one of the first people to go down when that happened. So I got to start all over. And today, I make my living. I do internet marketing for people that you would know would be like Mr. Roof, Rizzo, the dumpster company. You guys might not know that, but they're the largest dumpster hauler in Michigan. I do a lot of work for people where I bring them up on the internet. So I've learned a whole new trade out of that. But I've always ran a local real estate club. And then one of the companies I was doing internet marketing for is Volunteers of America. And they're running ads to to have houses donated. So I'm helping run that program with them. So on the donated houses. So I'm back into this looking, and I'm back into doing wholesaling, where we're actually out chasing houses, and we've got like a mentoring group that we're working with. So that's kind of a little bit about my background. So what we're going to do today, the agenda, is we're going to talk about where to find property, how to price property, how to negotiate a buy, ways to market yourself when you're looking, how to title a property if you get one, how to fix up or rehab a property, we'll get into it, and where to find subcontractors to work on your properties, or how I did it. And Ken, you can interrupt anytime you want. You've got a really experienced investor in the room. So and Ken's going to actually speak tonight too and talk about what he's done. So we're going to talk about exit strategies, so like once you've got a property, being able to get out of it. And then I'm going to talk a minute on the mentoring program we're currently doing. So what determines the price that you're going to pay for a property? And Chris, I might have you do some writing on the board. So anybody got an idea what would determine the price you'd pay for if you're going to buy an investment property? How you determine what you want to pay for one? Yeah. So what's the market value of the property, which is real key. So, but the real question for you is how much profit do I want to make? So that's where we're going to start. So just for the sake of doing this example, I'm going to say that I'm going to buy a house and I want to make minimally $20,000. That's my objective, okay? So, so what we want to make in profit, we're going to write 20,000 down, and then we're going to determine what the rehab is. Before I get out of here tonight, I'm going to walk you through some of the ways to determine rehab costs. So let's say that the rehab, after I walk you through it, let's say our rehab cost comes up to $10,000. So when you're looking to buy a property, you need to determine that when most people are buying a property, they're forgetting about the fact that they've got electric, heating, they've got mortgage cost, they've got insurance cost, and water cost, and they've got all this cost associated with the property. So you buy the property, you rehab it, and then they say to themselves, okay, well, I can rehab this property in 3 months. But I can tell you from experience, and I'll let Ken address it too, if you think you can do something in 3 months, it's probably going to be 6 months. And if you think the rehab cost is going to be $5,000, it's probably, for the sake of when I'm doing this, or even when I was buying it for myself, I doubled my rehab cost. I would sit down and calculate it, but for the sake of my buy and getting a good deal, I would double my rehab cost. So, so for the sake of this property, we're going to say that our goal is to make $20,000. We're going to say all those costs that I think I can fix the house up in 2 months, and I think I can get it sold in 2 more months. I'm going to double that time out, and then I'm going to double my cost, and we're going to say all that totals $10,000. And I'm just grabbing these numbers out of the air. So in the property we're buying is, you know, I'm sorry, Chris, the rehab cost, we're going to make it 20. Okay, so so all the water and all the mortgage costs and that's just the rehab. So 20, all that's going to add up to 10,000. We're just making numbers up, but you can see how that would add up to that pretty quick. So now we're into this thing at 50 grand before we've got it sold. So now that we know that the price, the retail price on the house is 90. So then the question is what's the top dollar you can pay for the house? So you got to take your profit, your rehab cost, and you got to take all your holding costs and total them up. And they're going to total $50,000. So you know that the most you can pay for the house is $40,000. Everybody follow that? And everybody that does this, new people doing it, they totally underestimate what those costs are going to be. I mean, and the other thing is if the biggest mistake I see people making, and I can look back at myself because I'm a major plate spinner, was tackling too much stuff. There's always deals. You tackle what you can chew. So one at a time, start now. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so you end up in big trouble. And that was like one of the major contributors to sinking me. I was buying those 8 houses a month and rehabbing them, and I was getting them all sold. I had the crews. I was in the city of Pontiac. I had like a regular machine going. I was doing really well. I woke up one morning, looked at my wife, and said, if I can do 8, I can do 80. And I went crazy buying properties, and I rose way beyond my capacity to handle stuff. I mean, I had contractors stealing from me. I was totally out of control. But when I had 8 houses, I would meet every morning. I would meet my contractors at Home Depot. I would buy all the materials. And I was in the city of Pontiac, so within 5 minutes I could be at any location. So So I was able to be in control of that. So you got to really watch it because. Oh, I was a full-time investor. Yeah, I started out when I first started with those 20 some odd homes. I was working a full-time job then, but the homes that I was buying were in pretty good shape. And my wife was a school teacher at the time, and we were like handling it, But I'm a complete workaholic, So there's a thing called social life too. So you got to balance it out. What? In the 80s? What? It was all land contract buys. And I can't even remember what the account could be, but we were getting them on contracts, and we were putting low down. And then there was a tremendous abundance of properties, And then the whole market shifted, and then the property values just skyrocketed. So it was all those suburb properties are really good, and they weren't spectacular homes we were buying, but they were all they weren't in Pontiac. They were all like in Commerce and White Lake. It was, I don't know how to describe the properties, but they were like 3-bedroom small homes, most of them. So is everybody pretty clear? Like you got to really, when you're looking at this, you got to really think through your pricing. So this is stuff I covered we had a wholesale meeting. So like you got to find, there's certain type of sellers you're looking for. You only want to work with motivated sellers. So you want to work with somebody that's had animals, commercial carpet, their house smells atrocious, and there's no buyers. Then they're motivated to get out. I don't know were your buyers motivated? Or sellers, I mean? No, not really? Okay. Well, yeah, it's motivation. Yeah. So when we were doing this full time, we were cranking out those offers through the real estate companies and upsetting a lot of realtors, but getting a lot of deals too. But that was like a time belt. So we'd make the offers and then we'd wait for them to come through. And then we were doing all this stuff too on the types of properties we were chasing. So I'm not going to try to cover that. And there was a certain kind of property, when you look at all these guys like Flip This House and all that, they're all of them are buying not houses that are all fixed up that are great because there's no motivation. So they were all like fixer-up type deals. So you're not going to find you're going to have to know the rehab business to get into this business. So the fact that you're handy and can fix stuff up, you've got to be able to deal with that. So we were always looking for properties that were fixer-uppers, the type where when you go to look at the property, the water is running out of the basement windows because somebody broke the plumbing off and the basement's filled up with water. You could put goldfish and let them swim in with the furnace. That kind of property. And the lady that had it had poured sand into her basement because she wanted to make a permanent litter box for the 20 cats she had. So those are where you get some really great deals that other people don't buy. Or the house is full of trash and debris to the point like that people can't even estimate what the value is, and they look at all that kind of stuff and they can't determine how to price it. All I'm saying is the best deals I got in real estate were the ugliest houses. So, and they had to be a motivated seller that wanted to walk away. So you gotta, then how to market yourself is exactly what you guys are doing, like going to the RIA meetings. You gotta start looking for wholesalers. You gotta, these are some of the ways that we did it. And I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on that because we would do